separate those intersections. One's in the county, one's obviously in the city, but, the county may take the lead on doing both of them, or LNDOT may take the lead on doing both of them. We got somebody's attention a while back, and contract for the park camera is going forward. Let's see what else we can talk about, just general information.
Who's the county at on the road repairs for, one over in my district that you and I went and looked at?
Oh, Fitzsimmons?
Fitzsimmons.
Talked to Mike today. He doesn't think the county's gonna approve it. The material to do that would run between $4,000 and $5,000. He thinks the manpower and equipment would run close to 30, 40.
Hey, Gracie.
Hey, good night almighty.
This mill's been done. There was a problem with Upper Bird
That's a
Mill.
briefcase.
County's working on that. We're gonna put gravel and quarry. Done with all the other-
Should I ask him like they do us? Would you go to your bricks?
Send that email to, Troy Bank and
You
Trust.
don't ask.
I CC you on it.
That's what I was wondering.
I'll make sure you get that.
Yeah,
but
I CC
that's-
you on it, you should have it in your email.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if you did on Upper Bird Mill, but from the,
So that should be squared away, I gave you a copy of my driver's license,
all the way to the asphalt.
social,
It's a new guy.
social security number, email, town email address, what I
That
use
is
for,
correct.
district.
Taking his.
And
Can't
my,
figure out
my-
why that one section of road is wet. They had the water department go look at it. To, see if there was a broken pipe. They're still working on it, but they, just up past Will.
well, I bet yourself.
I know you used to, it was like 100 yards, and it's just salt.
Ground Springs.
That's his next thought. We did have the water department go out there and try to, I think we thought maybe between the construction equipment and the buses, they have finally worn it down and tried to spray it. We don't think that's happening.
Flip it. That's the newest 2022 map.
Latest and greatest, huh?
Yep. And if you look on the front page, I put the URL where they can go to actually see it for themselves.
Move.
That is my gift to you.
Okay.
That is a breakdown of all of the town council districts boundaries, and if you flip the page, it's blown out where you can see the streets a little better.
Thank you.
On the front of the cover sheet is actually, on the bottom is the URL where you can go if you wanna see it for
Okay.
yourself.
Thank you so much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
Give it to the two newest council members. See, everybody else probably knows it better than I do.
Yep, I forgot.
I forgot. I forgot.
I'll take care of it tomorrow. Hey Siri. Remind me at 10 a.m. to change the names on the district voting map. Here.
Okay. What? So we didn't wait for you.
Can you keep the air down a
Me
little
neither.
bit?
I got
Thank you.
nothing right now.
Make that for you.
I'm an old guy.
I was cooking supper. Thank you very much.
Oh, I gotta go home and cook supper.
My kids were starving to death, so I
I know.
decided to cook for them before I left.
Yeah, that's all right.
That map is a gift from me to you, Selena.
What is?
This map.
Thank you so much.
You may get lost.
So what she gave me, a number of things you have to do. You get online doing the asset ethics thing, show me the information so we can sign you up for the online courses.
I say no. You guys have to do that.
Listen, if you do the honors. Gracious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come before you tonight. We just tell you thank you and that we love you, and we're glad that you gave us grace and gave us mercy. We ask that you just give us guidance as we propel the town forward, protect our first responders, and continue to help us grow and continue to move this town in the right direction. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please follow in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
do have the mayor, Charles Sheeper, Todd Askin.
Here.
And our councilwoman, Celine Zero.
Here.
I'd like to make a slight break right here and invite Courtney out front. This is an official welcome for Courtney to the town council, and with that official welcome, we present you with the Brockton pin, and she's taking the pictures.
Shake hands.
Shake hands, thank you.
Thank you. Yay. I'm excited.
This is the, due to the first part of the month where we had the holiday, this is the scheduled working meeting. Coming to the end of the fiscal year, the information that we've been looking at for the last couple months is mostly budget. So the only item on this was hopefully to solidify a budget and let the council members review what we've already looked at. And if we come to a consensus, we can vote on this come the first meeting in October, which would be the start of the fiscal year. The only one that we have not really gone over is the administrative budget. But if we've looked at the police budget, the senior citizen budget, and
Roads department, I think.
and, yeah,
Streets.
and the street department budget. We looked at all three of those, but if there's any review you'd like to do here initially. Before we dive into the town municipal budget.
Mayor, would you explain what's going on, trying to follow it? And so I see the 2024 budget increased by, what does that mean, 125? It increased by 125, what does that indicate?
At the, on top of which page are you looking at?
I'm on the first page there.
You're on the first page?
Yeah. And then the one across from it says minimum raises. No, on the police department, I see the 3.2% on the COLA.
What was it, I don't really realize, what was the top $125 on the first page?
And that's just cost of living adjustment, or not cost of living adjustment, but inflation.
$125?
125, each bill increased by 125.
payroll, is it the same thing, the 3.2%?
Now, that one, those are, since we didn't have a cost of living increase last year, 3.2% is on the low side.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then the next one over is not next one over, but underneath it is a higher cost of living increase, the 16.5 on the bottom, which comes out to a $2 raise. It looks like a lot, but it's only $2. And that 3.2 comes out to like 50 cents. Yeah, it did one low and one high.
So you,
What's killing us are the expenses. You agree? That's just the math part. Oh, and that is what was said.
but is that factored into this or no?
It is factored, yeah. That's on the high side. This one is factored into the high.
It's on the high as this.
Yes.
Eric, on the, like whatever these first two pages are, the expenses.
Those are the expenses for the whole year, for
So
12 months.
for 2025, it decreases by like
But
21,000 for 2025. Is that because there was like a lot of one-time expenses?
No, it's not that there was a lot of one-time expenses. That's just an estimation of what I think the bills may increase.
Well, it decreases by
Well,
21,000.
this decreases.
Because it goes from 446,000 in 2024
Which
down to
one
400.
are you looking at?
The
She's looking,
second page of
Are you
the
looking at the administration?
yeah, second page administration.
And it's got 2025 going down by 21,000, which will be great. I'm just curious what the decrease was from.
If you look at the column, that would be column D, and as you go down across the column, there's zeros, which
Oh,
are,
yeah.
which
So a
do,
lot of one-time expenses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
one of the big expenses was in there that, there was a $21,000 cost for, assisting the fire department. You remember their truck, the pumping system went out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we're doing $2 across the board for each employee.
If that's what you're looking to do.
No, I'm asking, is that what's proposed in this? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, no.
That's,
I don't know, Councilman Fires, it looks like off of page 3. I was just going off of the 2025 budget. The last column, and it states there, it proposes Gracie move up $2 an hour, Eric $1, Eugene $1. I haven't looked at all the other ones, but,
not so much for everyone.
So do we got a breakdown of who's, oh, you're Charles, Chuck, so
what?
it said Charles, and I was like, who's Charles?
I do the same thing.
So do we have a,
Didn't get a raise?
Each department does have the breakdown.
so I guess I'm trying to see where I'm aligned with the bills, I'm cool with that, I'm just trying to see where each employee falls in the dollar amount. I mean, because that's written out pretty plain, so like, where are the other staff in it being written out that way? So we can take a look at that. Like street department, senior citizen,
What's the senior citizens?
I don't know.
We're getting third, if you've looked at the first 3 pages for the town administration, the next item would be the police department, and the third page under police department,
Siemens is the small one.
third page under the, after the police department pages. There you go. Is that what you're looking for?
Are you, Mr. Flowers, are you like saying why do they have specific raises and the rest of them are just across the board?
Yeah. Like for instance, I don't see on police department, $2, $1, whatever.
The entire police department is, $3.
So, you said $3 for the police department?
Per hour, correct? Or no?
Yeah. Right, you said per hour? Per hour,
That's
yeah.
what we get paid, yes.
Yeah.
$2 agreeable, I'm looking at it now, it looks like $2, sorry.
It's $2 for a police?
Yeah, for the police officers.
Haskins is $2.
Okay, correct. $2 for the salary, but they're still giving 3.2% for COLA as well, right? That's how I'm reading it.
So, yeah, so that's
That's 3.2% for COLA.
and that's 29, right?
And then $2 on top of that.
This is on the low side right here. It's either equal across the board, it's 3.2%. If you look at the bottom, this is the one that shows 16.5%. It's either,
16.7.
Yeah,
yeah, either one.
okay.
So we're gonna,
Okay.
I don't need a house, can I?
absolutely.
So the final column where it states 2025 budget increased by 175, does that column down to the bottom totals include the highest raise?
It does.
Okay, all right.
And if you look up, it does show you the 3.2% total, and then the bottom part does show the 16.5%.
Okay.
Sure. You gonna help them?
So in Tennessee math, that comes out being $1,013,166.69 budget proposed 2025. Is that a true statement or not?
For all budgets, yes.
It's gotta be close.
Okay, so my question is, what is the proposed income? We've got the expenses. What's the proposed income?
Just a great thing.
The income part actually,
It's hard to come up with a budget without.
Yeah, we gotta, I mean, we don't wanna be spending more than what we're gonna be taking
well,
in.
it's already is.
I'll tell you right now, the income is somewhere in $470,000.
Why the hell can we approve a $1 million budget if you have,
That's,
that doesn't even pass reasonable man theory?
That's the issue.
that's the issue, that's correct.
That's a big issue.
Annually?
Approximately, correct? About 470, 475.
All right, so Eric, you sent this, we need this in,
I think we had it last week.
I sent it to you.
yeah, I know you did. Is it via email?
Yes, I sent it.
Okay.
Shows you what the income was from advertising.
Did you send that to all of us or just him?
Oh,
No,
we
the
had
rest
it
of it
last
was
week.
in your book.
So it should be right here, man. I've got all this stuff right here.
asking, when you did that, did you do the proposed COLA, or did you do the highest?
Did the highest column to the right, that's why I was asking, to double check my math, though.
No, you're correct. I did, that's why I did two budgets, one low.
What was the number you came up with, Don?
The total number was the
Hang on a second.
highest or the lowest?
That's why I did two budgets, one very low, the 3.2, and one high, 16.5.
Wasn't it six? One of those?
Yep.
Okay, we'll let you do it.
Hey, Alan, it was $1,013,166.
$1,013,000?
Yep, 166. 69 cents.
I don't see how in God's green earth we could ever propose a budget that high when our income's not even half that.
Yeah.
The town would be broke in 2 years.
This one is the budget that I sent you before
This
you
is,
left
this,
for,
I think this is the page.
before you left for TD
I
West.
think that's the page.
Yeah, that's the one.
This is Avenue
That's out of
Insights.
question.
That is the one.
That's the one.
Yes.
Let me,
Okay,
let me
but that's our
recorrect,
total
not
income?
470,000, 505,000.
Okay.
This is from Avenue Insight.
Almost
This is
half.
2% tax.
That's almost half the proposal.
This is your grand total, and this is what our.
500.
So we're,
So we got some trimming to do.
we've added in some, tax distribution, the bank interest, Avenue Insights, 561,000.
Want to pull me a copy of that real quick?
I don't know if they all have, no, they don't have their books with it. 561,000 and change.
Can you pull me a copy of that real quick?
Yeah, that was in the last batch.
For any. This math does not work.
Alright, so if we go back and do just the 3.2%, that'll decrease us a good amount, right? Because essence, if you said that you did the far right number, that includes 16.7% for everybody, along with an extra 300, including overtime and holidays. If I'm reading that
Did
correctly.
you go ahead and do the 2025 goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the far right, that's the far right.
Hey Chuck,
Oh, cause this is 2025.
are y'all budgeting for the voting materials for 2025 as well?
No, that's a point we gotta bring up.
I think it's like $10,000 per machine,
How many machines do we normally get?
1 to 2, and then we have to pay the poll workers also.
Yeah, if I remember, the number that was told me was somewhere close between $25,000 and $30,000 for an election.
Mm-hmm.
I got one.
We always have 2 machines.
That's why I said 1 to 2, depending.
The first column is our income from Avenue Insight, second column is our movie gas tax.
I know for the last election we had here for our municipal election, we only had 1 machine.
And these are our expenses. Which puts us in the hole.
would like to at least bring to your attention that the gas tax distributions, which are, you know, close to $36,000 a year, and only spent on certain items, which is the roads, which we've been able to repair here, and repair of some of the equipment. And that there are a couple of bills that, obviously, the voting situation is gonna be approximately 30,000.
Is there a small town?
I know the larger cities pay about 25,000.
I'm gonna ask you to go back and look at bills.
So,
When's the last time we voted in town? When's the last time we had a municipal election? 21?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was put off because of COVID.
Oh, it was before 20.
Might have been 2020.
20?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah,
20?
and it got extended 1 year, to
Mhm.
2025.
Yeah.
But how about the election cost?
Yeah.
I'm confused. What is the $30,000? What is that expense?
For the election, for our municipal election next year.
Well, what costs that?
We have to pay our poll workers, we have to pay for the voting polling machine,
And the voting equipment,
And the-
paper.
yeah.
We can't send them somewhere else.
No, no, because it's our municipal
This is a
election.
Municipal election.
And we have to pay for it ahead of, some of the stuff, like the supplies, we have to pay for ahead of time because of past stuff.
That's wild. So we're paying that much to rent a machine and some paper?
It's about
Oh, yeah.
$10,000 for the machine.
Eric is attending the voting
Good.
clerk's voting course
I have to go in November.
in November on a 3-day course in order to execute the municipal election.
I can do it.
You may not have this one.
You can't just put us on there straight about it.
Yeah, this is general information as to election calendar.
so I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm looking at these numbers, and for us just to break even, we would have to cut our expenses in half. And that's gonna mean some serious belt tightening across the board. I don't see any other way around it, unless, you know, want the town to go belly up.
I agree, so I mean, how do you go about doing that? Just prioritization, what are the priorities? Some things you just don't keep track of. The good news is that water's not discounted, pump shows, food, water, shelter, don't provide,
Our schools.
trash.
But one good thing is at the moment we have a surplus. Okay.
You know, you gotta go through that with this kind of deficit. The surplus of money that's in the bank right now.
Okay.
2 years, we'll be done.
If the planning commission, committee, whatever it is, board gets to going and can rezone, and we could get Benny Keith in here, then that would be some income, right?
It would.
So how long would that
probably a fair long time. I've been told that the deal with Benny Keith and the county was like a 10-year deal.
Oh, so even if we rezone, we can't get there.
You said it was a 10-year deal.
That's what I understood, yes.
10-year deal for what?
For tax relief, in
Oh,
order
they
to,
did?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, was it? Oh,
I'd have to
10
see
years.
the file. But I know they were offered, as part of the deal, to get them.
And again, obviously, there was only a couple of you that were here at the time that they negotiated that, and I have no idea why that land wasn't, put into the city at that time, and the deal made with the city instead of the county. Something about, all I know is a water tower.
Well, I mean, it's the state of the town itself, look at the bylaws, none of the programs are set up, none of the, as far as the functionality of the town, it's in shambles. That's what we've been saying. Is, the planning commission and the boards back then are just as effective as they are today, which are, they're not.
They're not.
Exactly.
Unless
That is the problem.
we can, we're trying to get them put, again, planning commission, we're working on getting the members together. If they rezone the old city hall, that's an $80,000 increase. Because the building will sell as soon as it's rezoned commercial one.
So that sale is on hold
It is until
until
the planning commission can,
until the rezoning is done.
yes.
But in the same sense, they're just bringing the suggestions to us. Can't we, I mean, is it impossible for us to unanimously vote on the rezoning of it? Since they're bringing the suggestion to us?
Oh, so they don't actually vote on it. See, I don't even know how they do it.
No,
So they don't vote on it.
they approach the council with a proposition.
We do, again, I'd have to look at it in bylaws and see exactly how it went down.
So when we talked to Rob said it had to go through the boards before it could come to the council.
That's the last time from ALM that we talked to him about that.
So
because we
both of
didn't
those
have-
boards would have to have minutes
Because we didn't have a planning
showing
commission at the time.
that
Just
it
the
came
one,
before them.
the planning commission.
So they can talk about it on one meeting, turn in their minutes, and then the next meeting they could present it, and we could potentially vote on it.
We could, if we could get the planning commission to come together.
You're not able to fill all the positions.
I did, and I put out a group text to everybody that was on the list and got 2 answers. So I was hoping your wife, I was gonna talk to your wife again tonight to see what we can do. Because that's one of the answers I got.
She was ready to go.
Yeah,
Pretty sure my wife answered too.
But
I said 2.
even if you got them together tomorrow, it's not gonna do by October, but you can talk about it. And it's not gonna save the day.
Do we have any kind of pending grants or anything, waiting approval or finalization or anything of that nature?
We had the grant freeze at the last meeting, remember?
Yeah.
Chris and Frank right here.
I still think we should apply for, because I believe next month is when the, what is that called? The road, what, Rebuild Alabama, is that what it is?
Rebuild Alabama.
I think that opens up at the beginning of the fiscal year to start accepting applications.
I believe that's what we use to pave South John. You'd have to talk to Marty from the county. I don't know if there's like a time limit as for how many times we can, or how long we have to wait before we can reapply for that grant a
I
second
think you can
time.
apply as many times as you want.
Yeah, let
Right.
me check with the county engineer on that.
But I know
Find
that,
out when that's supposed to happen again.
Yeah, I did a little research on it, and I remember seeing that it was like the end of the fiscal year is what, or beginning of the new fiscal year is when they would start accepting
that-
applications again.
That isn't gonna help the question we're talking about right now.
No, but
That's
it
gonna-
would help some of the road projects that we need to get done. As far as, like, South Ainsley and some other places.
and I know that we've tried different grant writers before and not all the grant writers can get grants approved, but every time David has done a grant for us, it's been approved. So he's basically got a guarantee to get you an approved grant because of how long he's been doing it.
David doesn't do
Again,
much out of
that's-
CDBG though.
Yeah, he's doing a lot.
I haven't seen him, he doesn't see anything outside of CDBG.
He, outside of CDBG, but, I mean, there's a lot that can be done with CDBG grants. You can't have more than one grant at a time now.
And we need multiple at this present moment.
He said he only got two, but she never got the contract.
I don't know what our right now fix is.
All right, well, I mean, to simplify, we know we have 4 areas. Right, police, senior citizen center, public works, and admin. Everybody agree with that? Yes. All right, so we gotta look at priorities. Start looking at what you cut. So like Old Town Hall power, is that a necessity? Why does that building need power? Is the air conditioning still running in it?
No,
I'd say cut the meter.
I can't tell you if the water's connected. Last year, that question, I raised that question, and the electric was on, so that pipes didn't even do anything.
Well, hopefully we
It
got
doesn't
some.
have a, crawl space. Is there any exterior, you don't need it, I'm just saying, I don't know, Mayor.
Y'all need to tell me we've been paying for this weather siren that ain't working again.
That was what I was about to say.
The weather siren works, it just didn't go off last month.
I haven't heard it from them.
And we had
I
this
haven't heard it.
discussion
And I live in
before.
Jana.
Chief, how long did they say it had been down?
About a couple months.
So we've been paying for it this whole time and it ain't been working. Whose job is it to find out when it don't work anymore?
SP Communications. When I talked to Grant the other day, he said he'd get with Jay, but Jay's, he says he got a contract. Jay's obviously he had 36 hours to contact him.
So are they supposed to come out once a month, once a week and check it to make sure it's functioning properly?
Well,
Like,
they do what's called a silent test, and then that's once a month, and then the next month, that's when they do the audible,
so they just haven't been doing a silent test to know it's been broke.
I don't think Grant was aware that it wouldn't work, but he said he was gonna call Jay and make Jay aware of it, SP Communications, make him aware of it, so he don't need it fixed.
We're talking about turning the power off to the old city hall. We can do that,
How much does that run?
about 10,000 a year. looking at the line 19 and 20.
Oh, gotcha. Town hall, that should be this
Oh,
one,
I'm
that's
sorry.
706.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, some of this is wrong one.
The other one's 202 South John.
Yeah, 15, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Well, y'all got the air conditioner running every day. Y'all gonna have to sit in here at 75 degrees. Love your air conditioner. We can't afford for y'all to be comfortable in here.
And you know what, the restrooms, if we're not gonna have them open or available to the public, you know what I mean, if we're 400,000 in the hole, things that are not working for the citizens, we can't provide them, there's no sense in wasting money.
451,000.
Except we're at per the plan, we just contracted for cameras. Was Alabama Power at $183 a month
Really see when Timmy breaks his arm on the
on this
swing
seesaw.
set, yeah. When is the Wi-Fi account for the park up? We did that a while back, with National Fire, a couple years ago.
Is there a contract for that?
That's what it states right there, contract expires something.
What line number?
40.
Yeah, what is that all about?
That's, I'm pretty sure that's got to do with the Wi-Fi.
What line?
Yeah, line 40.
39 is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. That's got to do with the Wi-Fi in the building.
Line 39 is over here.
No?
Line 14.
Is that the senior citizen bus? That's on the bus we got.
It says bus phone line.
Business phone.
Bid.
Oh,
Business phone line, okay. Yeah.
Well, that's, okay.
Is there a period?
Alright, well, y'all start using your cell phone.
Yeah, cut it.
Line 44 for Drury Accounting, are they still, they're providing a monthly service to us still, or?
No, they haven't provided anything.
That's $1,200. Right, Alan, we're down to 450,000 now.
I think we contracted with Melinda's for a year though, didn't we?
We didn't sign a contract, did we?
What's that about?
Cause they were supposed to help with the taxes and all of that.
Ask us, did we sign a contract with Melinda?
She sent,
Yeah, we did, can't remember what it was, it was
Me either.
during the turnover.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember that. How long is it? It's 12 months, so it's about a.
I think so. Mhm.
I can find it.
It should be in there in the filing cabinet.
Town hall security camera repair, 2077.
What's that about? Is that broke? Is that like a yearly thing?
Right now, we have two cameras that are broken. Each one, they do provide maintenance.
But it would cost us a big chunk of money to repair those cameras because they're out of date.
So is that a yearly fee just for maintenance? The town hall security camera repair, or is that what we're projecting we're gonna have to pay? That line 55, $2,077?
We pay for the system itself. I don't know if we pay for maintenance and repairs unless they come out. But they don't come out on a regular schedule. We have to call them.
173, remote monitoring of management of workstations monthly service fee.
That's Mueller, they remotely monitor our computers for viruses and hackers and things of that nature.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's on the roller, gotcha.
One of your expenses that, you know, health insurance for one, is that something that you have to?
They have some,
You in now?
I guess so. Just kidding, ignore me. I was thinking monthly.
What's insurance?
Insurance is a big one. We've got the loan, item 110-111. We're paying that twice a month. You know how much we got left on that? Line item 110-111.
Property insurance slash cyber security. Bill that.
Is that 4407 a month on that loan?
We have, yes, we have a lot, long ways to go.
What is that loan for?
It's Project X, it's for Benny Keith.
Uh,
Project X, it's for Benny Keith.
So, line 101, property insurance slash cyber security. So do we have two cyber security?
that's from the insurance guy that comes here. It's a
Yeah.
part of our coverage to have the cyber insurance in.
With the liability
Yeah.
insurance.
And the loan, we pay the monthly payment plus the principal every month to try to get it down
So
faster.
I'm like, I know this is before my time, but I'm confused. We took out a loan for a project for Benny Keith, why?
Cause we helped, like, it was for the building of Benny Keith.
The town took out a loan to help Benny Keith build a building.
No, it was in order to support the water.
Right,
Um,
yeah,
They had to have so many gallons of
Mhm.
water and all that, so we had to redo some stuff.
There was a huge water,
So it was an infrastructure upgrade to support Benny Keith.
pretty much, yeah.
Wow. And yet they get a 10-year tax break for being here. Man, that don't add up either. Seems like they kind of saw us coming.
Well, I guess the thought process at the time was the second, third order effects of, we did gain a gas station from it. And at the time, the only thing keeping us alive was the inland and, PG.
We made tons of money when they were putting that place up. I mean, we were in the green heavily from the taxes and relaying concrete and all that stuff. Like, we made bukus of money.
What happened?
Well, it was built. I mean, once the building is done, there's no more of the business license or
Yeah.
any of that stuff, and all that goes away.
until they expand.
What's the life of this loan?
I didn't have nothing to do with the loan. I had nothing to do with the loan.
No, I mean, do you know how long it's for?
I have no clue.
Can you look into that?
The belief at the time was Benny Keith was gonna save the day. I mean, we have seen some benefits from it. but
No,
it's-
oh, yeah,
it's
no,
not
definitely.
the-
I get it, but, you know, looking at it now, it looks like maybe that was a little short-sighted.
It didn't save the day for sure.
I mean, I get it, you know, sometimes you gotta get in the batter's box and just take a swing, but looking at it now, here we are, how many years later? And we don't even know how many years we got left on this loan.
Okay, so I know we gotta cut some things, and I'm just over here looking at it from the other side, and y'all, I'm not an actual adult, so y'all gotta tell me how it works. So, like, we need more businesses here, obviously.
we need to abate some more to bring some more people in. Nobody's knocking down the door to come and build a business here. You know, number one, Jack's wanted to come to New Brockton and they said, hey, there's not enough rooftops. And so therefore they were like, hey, we're going to help. That's a long-term thing. Right now, what nobody wants to say is that the only thing that's really gonna get us out of this hole is us looking at what hits us the hardest, and we see a lot of salaries and wages. And workforce reduction is what's gonna get us out of the hole immediately. Not what we wanna do, but
Is there any other option?
is there any other option?
Okay,
Well-
after that being said, where are you going with it?
I don't know, I'm just putting it on the table.
Well, I agree, but I'd say look at waste first.
Yeah,
Turn all the
absolutely,
waste out.
yeah.
And then you gotta prioritize what services that the town owes the citizens, versus what they need versus what they want.
Absolutely.
I think we have more on our plate right now that we're gonna solve at this meeting. So I would maybe put it out there, just like we would do in the study sessions with the ordinances. I'm wondering if we could do something with reviewing this budget, something similar to that. Cause, one or two meetings a month, we got a lot to go through.
Well, we did put out the first three areas. Police department, senior center, and the street department already.
That's null and void at this present moment because it ain't no way we can pass any of that at this present moment.
If I remember right, and I'm just going off the top of my head, I think we had a proposed budget for the police department of like over $300,000.
Well, it's in there.
And we're,
Go to the police department pages.
Also, just keep in mind, if you lay people off, you still have to pay their unemployment as well. If you don't have a reasonable reason to terminate them, you have to show, the unemployment office will ask us if we have write-ups for those people to show a cause as to why they were terminated.
It's pretty easy when you're $450,000 in the hole and you keep going, there won't even be a town.
Well, yeah, I get that, but you're still gonna have to pay the unemployment on the people too.
You can't if there's no town.
I get that, but if the
That's the
unemployment
point.
office asks for you to pay them, you
If
have
the
to
decision
do
was
it.
made to do that, those questions would arise.
Yeah,
That's all she's saying.
Yeah, and it's a simple answer. There's no town left. Who are you gonna get it from?
but if they file for unemployment and the unemployment office approves that they get unemployment, we still have to pay that.
Not if there's not even a functioning town. You can't.
And that's what they call a reduction in workforce. That's what it's called.
I get that, but you know, if you don't have a just cause,
That's the cause.
like with, one of our previous employees, the only reason he didn't get unemployment was because there was write-ups to back the reason why he was fired. If you go laying people off, you will more than likely have to.
And that only lasts for a period of time.
It does.
And it's not paying for what taxes.
Unemployment is what, 6 months?
I think so. Mhm.
Like I said, they don't get another job before then, right? If they get
If
another
they do
job.
Right.
another
then
job, it ends, yes.
Right.
Surely they can't live off unemployment for 6 months. It's like a percentage of what you actually make.
I think it's 50%.
So the admin part is $425,000 a year alone. Coming in second is the police department, and third is street and senior citizens, and last. So what out of the admin can be cut out? What fact?
ALM conference is at the bottom. I'm looking at the second page where you were talking. We're required to do council member training, which is much more than $150.
Marketing calls.
Civic Plus is gonna be coming up, the webpage.
we paid I3V yet?
We haven't paid I3 vertical yet, I don't think, no,
Paid or contracted with them?
we're contracted with them.
Then you might as well put that one in writing.
Is that on here anywhere? I3 vertical?
I did put it on here, but it took zero again.
Oh. We've got a, safety deposit box.
That you have to have.
Yep, you have to have it
Why?
because it stores our documents off-site so nothing can happen to them.
Well, it's only $28 anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, anything to do with the old town halls or any reason why we can't cut those expenses right off the bat. The parks,
We can,
we're not providing service to the citizens by having the things open, and they're not gonna be open anytime soon, is that
what's that?
the restrooms?
They've been open every day.
They're reopened?
They've always been open.
Yeah, it's always been open, you put out on the website that they were closed down.
No, that was like 3 months ago.
Okay.
So they've
That's
been
not
open
always
every,
been open.
they've been open consistently
Okay, good.
since then.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So they've been repaired and they're open?
That was not put out.
Yeah, I had no idea.
But we can go into the, where's the one on the old town hall?
That's Lincoln Red Lake.
Well, it started on the 15th, on the old town hall.
Okay,
It's not required.
I can have the electricity cut and we'll
You
make
know,
sure the water department turns off the water,
Good enough.
which there shouldn't be any bill anyways, it's just
They got a minimum.
a minimum of like 21, 27.
What about the signal light at the intersection up there, the little flashing light? It's $405.
Alabama Power Traffic Signal Light, 404.48.
Is it necessary, is it serving a purpose?
Where is it at?
Where's it at? Downtown in Brockton.
Big smacking.
Do those flash?
The stoplight
At the
flashes.
stop, yeah, at the stop intersection.
Oh, yeah, but you got stop signs. Don't nobody need that light. Half the people sit there thinking it's a red light anyway.
Yeah, and then the other half running.
Clearly I don't pay attention. Okay.
I mean, it brings up a point though, we're down to that, if it's not a necessity,
I don't think it's
Well, that light is
necessary.
definitely not a necessity.
So, light item 2122. Cancel the street light, or stop and go light. Item number 2526.
putting up Christmas decorations.
Oh, everybody saw the text on the, just, that, I saw Bobby Eubanks in there, the text on the tree. You didn't see all that? That was all Sunday,
How much did it cost this time?
1,500. But that comes out of the 4-cent fuel tax.
That was a big tree.
Oh, the fire department went in and cut down what branches they could and did not have the equipment or the expertise to remove the rest of that tree.
And there was a lot of down wires too.
And it took down wires, we had power outage to at least 24 people.
I was one of them.
Yesterday afternoon. And that was cleaned up and done before 1800 last night.
We actually got our power pretty quick. Our power was back on by like
Well, as soon as he
3:30.
cleaned out some of the branches where they could put up the power lines, they gotta go back in and clean up down lines. And, he finished cleaning up the tree this afternoon.
There was lines down on both sides of Fitzsimmons Street.
There were, I was out there till about 6 last night.
Yeah. I went out there, right after it happened, I was out there like 1:45.
But that'll come out of the 4-cent, because it blocked the road, we can
Yeah.
justify that.
Yeah. whole road. Give them a chance to get rid of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Really sorry, we just talked about it, sorry, Justin. Okay, so,
We're getting there, we're just doing the admin for dragging us out. You know what I mean?
you need some diamonds, let's get to the big stuff. So, several meetings ago, somebody mentioned that towns this size contract their police departments. I know we like having our own police department, but is that an option?
I don't know. I've never looked into contracting a security firm.
No, you contract with the sheriff's office.
Well, Kathy tried it and the sheriff's department wanted more than what we was paying the police department when she was there.
Do we have any, any idea what it was at that time?
75,000.
A year? That's a whole lot cheaper than 350,000.
I can say for a year, let's take it 5,000.
But she said it was more expensive.
It's,
A month?
No.
No.
Well, a month would come to a year. I mean, she said it was a lot more expensive than for us to maintain what we had.
that was at least a few years ago, and
Well, the key is not to go off hearsay, let's get.
that's what I said, we need to conduct our own due diligence and
Yeah.
at least
I
talk to the
imagine if
sheriff.
we looked in the files in there, we could find it.
But what happened then doesn't really,
Road money.
it's not gonna stick now, we need to do our own due diligence and get some numbers.
That's true, but it could be a point of reference to look back and then to look forward, you know.
I
It's
can
always good
contact
to look back
Kathy.
and past records.
He could probably give us a point of contact, who we would talk to about it. Show the sheriff, we may not. Sheriff's office?
You have to talk to the sheriff.
Look at half the communities we go to, they don't even have police departments.
That's something, that's what somebody had mentioned.
That's what they all said, when we did our ALM conference and we had our roundtable with the towns that were our size, almost all of them said they contracted with the local sheriff's office. When I worked for the sheriff's office in Florida, we had multiple small towns within our county, and they all contracted with the sheriff's office. Typically, it's just a cheaper way to go, and I mean, in our case, you know, we got the jail right here in our town.
Yeah, I mean, the
You know,
county,
I mean,
the
we're
county,
gonna have coverage is
County-
not gonna be an issue.
yes, I mean, the county cars go through the Brockton all day, every day,
Yeah.
so,
Some go through pretty quick too.
yeah. Too fast.
But, you know, I'm not saying definitively, yes, this is what we have to do, but I think
And I'm not
we
even-
have to do our homework and at least look into it and see how the numbers shake out.
Cause I love just calling the chief whenever I need something, but, I mean, if
I
we
mean,
got,
and that's only 194 pages, isn't it?
What's that?
The police department,
No, they're at like $300.
are they?
350,000 is what's on here.
Oh, okay.
Now, can I ask y'all a question? I work both agencies until December. What's gonna happen to y'all dissolve the police department? And police department, or sheriff's department is full of deputies, and that's very often in Lake. We have a store being robbed. Or we have the bank being robbed. And you got deputies in the north part of the county. You realize how long it takes for a deputy to get down here? Hey, wow. That's something you ought to think about over there.
When you contract with them, do they not have like a set amount of police officers in the
That
town
doesn't
at
matter.
one time?
If something's going on in the north part of the county, they got to go.
No, this is,
Now, can the bank stay here?
No, ma'am.
You have to have a police department in the town to have
That's
a bank.
federal guidelines. You got to have a police department. 25 covenant.
well then, what you were talking about,
A reduction in workforce.
can you, from what he's proposing, proposing as a reduction in workforce, what would be the bare bones minimum for a police department for a town this size? And that would probably not cover
You would not have,
weekends or,
we don't, after this week, we won't have 24-hour coverage anyway. That's how we're being short. You cut 2 or 3 more officers, you'll have some during the daytime, that's it, we'll have any at night.
let me ask you this, when would it be most advantageous to have police on site, you know, working? Night times, weekends?
With the town growing, you're gonna have somebody here day and night.
We do have over 17 houses being built.
And once folks find out there's no police department, you're gonna have problems, a lot of problems.
And I'm talking about every department, I'm not just talking about.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, it's down to, I mean, you only got 4 departments.
We can't think of something that's generating, some ROI quickly.
No,
'Cause that's the other route, is instead of cutting, try to generate more income, and I don't know what that looks like.
Well,
The questions you had, I'll get information, you can come to the meeting with me for the Alabama Development Economic Association.
The Wiregrass Economic Development.
No, this is the, I don't, yeah.
I know.
It is,
Wiregrass Economic,
Development, yeah.
they're
Wire-
supposed to help us get things in the town, that's how we got Benny Keith, was
And
through Wiregrass Economic
I'm
Development.
still working with them on grocery store,
well,
but I mean, that's not a happen overnight operation either.
well, I just spoke with Todd Boland a couple of days ago, and he said that they're more than willing to go ahead and, or they're, that property across the road that was gonna be a gas station at one point or whatever, then they decided.
Where the dumpsters are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still on that, and they talked about putting like a strip mall type thing there, but we have to have interest in a business before they're willing to build it. So
How do you demonstrate the interest?
well, that's what I was saying about if we put out a proposal of, to get some incentives to get somebody in here, maybe we could, pull some people, I don't.
And do a build to suit type thing?
Yeah, I mean, if we can throw it out there, hey, we're looking to get new businesses, we'll work with you on some incentives, let's help each other type thing, I don't know. Just thought about that.
Well, just as an education thing, I'll come to the meeting, the next meeting,
When is it?
the 9th of October at 7:30 in the morning.
I'll pull right on up. Don't worry about it.
I'll show you where it is. Anybody else is interested in coming, I'm sure.
What?
Say again?
Come to what?
The Wiregrass Economic Development Commission. 7:30 on Wednesday, the 9th.
Where's it at?
It is at the, what do you wanna call it, the industrial park in Enterprise. It's a backside building, that'll get you an address. But it's a building on the backside of that industrial complex.
I'll contact Rob tomorrow about what incentives we can or can't offer to pull businesses in.
The bulk of them are, if you can obey taxes, that's what they want, the bulk of them.
Oh, yeah.
So if we could do that for 1 year, 2 years, I mean,
But we have a whole commercial strip area right next to Mayberry.
But we still get any of the sales tax and stuff goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And even with M4 development, they're just sitting on that commercial because it's zoned commercial. If it was zoned residential, they probably would have been there through 14 more houses because it's 14 parcels. So, but that's why a few months ago I said, is there any way that we could get a sign or something advertising that, hey, these commercial parcels are available? Because nobody knows that it's already hooked up there. water,
Yeah,
so
nobody-
everything is already there on that side. There's 14 parcels.
Do we have to,
Who owns that? Why is the owner not?
Boy, they don't wanna develop because they're residential. So they're doing residential stuff out here, so they're not gonna do anything commercial.
do you think we need to get their approval to put a sign up?
Yeah,
Well,
if it's
no,
going on their
what
property,
he's
yeah.
saying, though, it needs to be rezoned, if I
Yeah.
understand.
No, it's zone commercial.
It's zone commercial, but, you know, we wanted, you know, I don't know. You know, if we got the sign up and, you know, hey, zone commercial, somebody comes in and willing to do something, the hookup is already there.
From the entrance to Mayberry, north, about what, quarter mile?
Yeah, at least,
At least a quarter mile is all zone commercial.
Yeah, I know you should have done that.
and the last time I checked, I think they wanted about 15,000 per parcel.
I mean, getting a sign made is minimal.
Any money we spend though has to serve a public purpose, and I'm
Do
not,
what now?
any money we spend has to serve a public purpose, and I'm not sure that sign's gonna serve a public purpose, because you're putting that sign on somebody's private property to help them with their private property, to help them develop
That's why
it.
we'd have to contact, would you say, M4?
Yeah, but you're using, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
you're using public funds to advertise for the sale of a private property.
Well, maybe M4 would be interested in putting it up themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you think it would be if they're, instead of just sitting on it.
That's all they're doing.
Do you have the contact for them?
I do got a number somewhere.
M-
Text me.
Don't they have 3 undeveloped residential lots in there too? One is there's one on not on Knott's Court, it's on the other side of Knott's Court that Kenneth, at 135 Knott,
That's not info.
Yeah.
it's not?
Jerry
It's
Deal.
Jerry Deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jerry Deal owns that, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Jerry Deal owns
On the
it.
other
that-
side of it, on the other side of Knox. I mean, like the beach road, it's up for sale. I mean, and if we put it out there sometime, if we're allowed to put out some kind of incentive, there could be somebody that comes along that sees it and just goes ahead and buys the beach road for a new business or something.
Nobody ever come up with price to that.
I think the best thing to do is to get with Crowder, the owner of Roberts. See if we can appease him some kind of way to develop something else.
Oh,
Here, he's already here, he sees that Roberts is doing well. And let's see if we can just entertain him with something.
Yeah, I agree with everything we're talking about, but I feel like right now we're spinning our wheels and almost avoiding
I can read it, avoid fire business.
what it's, I mean, we all are, but it's,
I mean, I'm just trying to look at it from both ends. I'm okay from reducing costs, and I'm okay with trying to generate something we should have been doing 10 years ago. But we just gotta get down on paper and see what we can do from both angles.
so like the annual cost of like the lawn maintenance and everything that the street department does, would it be more feasible to, yeah,
I think I'll
What are we
talk
paying
about
now?
it.
What are we paying now on the street department?
Well, there's 3 of them. Do we even need 3 in a town this size?
Well, have you looked
I
at the
would- I
town
would say-
lately, cause the people don't clean up,
I would say yes to that effect.
there are a lot of
Really?
slops here. Sorry to say it, but somebody's house, they need cleaning.
Street department.
I have a question. Code enforcement could generate fines. She is right. She has a point. Code enforcement could generate fines.
What would be the difference between the fines that are generated and the cost of paying
I'm not sure, but, I mean, well, we just had to send a letter down there to the junkyard and how many cars that he could've got hit with $500 fines for each one of those cars. Sitting outside the fence, cause he's been told more than once.
The fine is $500 per car? I thought it was $50.
I'm saying it could, like, what is I'd have to look at the ordinance, but it generates a fine up to $500.
You can find it by cleaning up the.
Up to $500. So we could be fining people for all of this stuff. The overgrown grass, we can fine people for that.
But what we've stated over and over and over, it doesn't require codes enforcement. That's a Dayton. The city of Daleville uses a, off-duty police officer because they don't push a police officer back, instead of using a civic employee as per, Alabama state law. They pay extra for their off-duty police officers.
They can, but they can't double dip, so they couldn't do it while they were on duty as a
That's why I
police
said
officer,
off-duty.
yeah. Who would do that though? Who would we have to do that? Because some of those housing code enforcements, you have to know construction well enough to enforce those
You're
codes.
using the two, construction and abatement. Abatement is done by the city.
Right,
If your grass is greater than 12 inches or whatever's in there, that's their authority.
I'm also talking about the broken down, half falling apart houses that we have in town.
Yeah, and that doesn't actually require a codes inspector.
What does? What
Well, new
justifies
construction
it?
building, sorts of that nature that is adopted, like by a national code, but any municipal ordinance that's formed with that does not require.
I know we ran into a problem earlier, what was it, 2 weeks ago? It was while Chuck was gone, that Kevin Owens was trying to sell this house on McKinnon, and they still haven't finalized on it because the woman's insurance company wants a certificate of occupancy that none of us can give because none of us are a code enforcer.
That could be an issue there.
So, and clearly they didn't accept the letter that we gave her in office that day because this for sale sign's still out in front of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Who wanted the certificate or?
Her insurance company,
Her insurance that's selling it?
no,
Or the one that's
Kevin,
buying it?
the one that's buying it, the insurance company wouldn't insure it unless she had a certificate of occupancy.
That's weird.
I have a question on another subject. So, we got our police department, they're writing tickets. We get any revenue from those tickets?
$10
Just
ticket.
very small.
How much?
$10 a ticket.
Very-
You don't want it to become a street cat.
Like level flames? I try to treat it every day.
I think my concern with them houses and the code enforcement is how many of those houses that they're building over there on North John are gonna have to sit empty the same way because,
They won't, because any house that's built in the county, there are no codes enforcement in the county.
that
So
North,
those houses are just as safe as any other house.
the North John ones are inside our city limits.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, without a codes enforcement out in the county, it's the same.
But if the insurance company won't insure the home, the homeowner can't buy it.
Well, you go to a different insurance company,
Yeah.
because all of them do not demand that.
Well, that makes it tougher on the resident then, and then you run the chance of them going, well, I don't even want that home now.
Okay. Next.
It was just an idea to generate.
We don't generate a whole lot with tickets.
Now, and I think the occupancy, code of occupancy is about the repairs. So once the new owner owns the house, they have to make the repairs and meeting this up to.
The house I'm talking about was brand new. It's the one on West McKinnon here that Kevin Owens just built, a few houses down from Kathy. It hasn't been repaired. It's brand new construction.
Because Sunny's.
Is that
Or
the one
East
beside
McKinnon,
Jimmy
yeah.
Ray? Is that the one you're talking
Get
about?
beside Jimmy Ray, yep. if we get a business in here, wouldn't we need a code enforcer for the business construction? Like Todd, Todd Bolin wanted to, if he wanted to build on that property across from Mayberry, William, the code enforcer, had to do the code stuff down there at Roberts too.
It's because we have one, but if you don't have one, it can't be enforced.
Yeah, I mean, was there ever one whenever anything else?
Yeah, and there was a lot more behind the last one that, that's for another discussion.
Yeah, there was back in September of last year.
All right, Mayor, let's do something. Well, we're going through it line item by line item. We haven't made any.
There's we're looking at public works yet, and I'm not sure why this one's up here, but we bought the, rock asphalt, and that comes out of the 407 or Centex. That's $1,500 off there.
But is that still under $1 million that we're in, or no?
Say again?
Is those, the 4 cents, 7 cents, is that a part of the $1 million?
That's what I was saying here. The gas tax distribution is approximately $36,000 a year. And that money only comes from, it can only be used on certain projects, basically streets, in and around the town.
It don't matter where it comes from right now, does it? Because we got all of that included, was projected coming in from 4 cents, 7 cents?
Yeah, approximately 3,000, 3,200 a month, and it goes into the tax funds, the gas funds.
So that's still a part of that $1 million.
I thought when we looked at past audits, it was around, the town's income was around 7 something a year.
I thought it was too, at least 22, I thought we looked at, I thought it was a little more than the
Yeah,
five.
so the five's a little alarming for me.
Those amounts come directly from bank statements, so the bank statements can't be wrong.
Which I agree, we don't trust an auditor either, in my opinion.
All those amounts directly off the bank statement.
Well, we have $450,000.
You know, they have a breakdown.
Count.
So, if we're looking at this budget, focus on, we don't buy a new car, so we go straight to that 40,000, right?
Oh, right, okay, I know where he was trying to get, but the rim on the one tire, this was cracked.
So question, looking at I was looking at the police department, I know we bought the new vehicle. Is that included in the budget proposal?
We had, and I'd have to go look at the,
Yes, it is,
So that, if
that's
we,
40 grand right
if we
there.
scratch that,
there was a $40,000 we had looked at, we had discussed in the previous meetings, when we looked at the police department, to plan for like one vehicle a year.
That can be slashed.
So we can slash that, yeah, that 40,000 out.
And save our department.
That's interesting. I mean,
And it's under issue rules. That can be slashed.
What's that? Which one, Eric?
The Asian rules.
Asian motor?
Asia.
Oh,
AS.
yeah, the 40,000,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That was for the flatbed truck.
Yeah.
And the street
Did we
department
turn in
truck,
that
Asia
desk
Motors,
for
I believe?
everybody?
No,
No? There, I know there was there should be a 61,000 one for the flatbed that was bought. I can't remember where it came from though.
Is that something we have to keep paying on, or is that?
Do you remember? I think, oh, it was a Chevrolet place.
yeah, chief, we discussed, where are they?
So if that 61 is on there, it can be slashed off too.
Body cam, which one?
Why do we need more? How many do we have?
There was a, let me look here once.
See, then dang, we're gonna need some pro bono services for a year.
The body cams, that, the cost we put in there, chief, was about 3,500. That was a,
That's for additional, for everyone to have their own camera, but we can get by with that, and we've got enough for everybody.
yeah, but there was some in there for a contingency, like broken cameras, something wears out.
It's under seven.
That's other, where?
It's under 7 communication. That was 14,000.
How many do we have?
Five.
How many
Same
officers?
same thing with vests.
That, everybody got a vest this month,
And the life expectancy on a vest,
5 years.
5 years. So we could probably drop,
It's got to be true on that 14,000.
on the camera, or the camera?
Alan,
They're
Damon
3,500.
claims
If we
he's
have-
got the state
What's
bid.
the most officers we have on
When
duty at one time?
Damon ran for mayor, or put his
If we have
letter in
5
for mayor,
cameras,
do you
we
remember
only
that?
ever have
He,
2.
he said he
Technically, we
had
got
the
3
state
backup
bid for the
cameras if we're
vehicles
sharing.
too, so he might be the cheapest around.
Train of
That's
thought.
hard to believe.
Just food for thought. He said he had the state bids. So.
Right there it is, in the top of my, 15.5,
That's the
17,
street department guy.
18,
Or one of them.
58,000, those 3 line items, correct? If you look at the body cams, 3,500, the vest, 1,450, so that's 18, give or take a couple bucks, and 40,000 gives us 60 or 58,000 on those 3 line items. You understand what I was talking about?
Mhm.
So,
And that's give or take a couple $100.
Why we gotta feed prisoners when we got prisoners? Don't we go straight to the county?
Yeah, but the county bills us.
County charges us.
You don't go to jail and get bread and water.
Well, that's why I ain't gonna go to jail and call the chief. That's why I said I like to go to college.
She likes, she likes, going there here.
You gotta feed them a little bit.
okay, just for data, if we took the top 4 positions, that comes up to $134,227.
Let's say top 4 positions.
Yeah, let's say the top 4 paid positions that we raised between 34, 34, 34, and 134, 227. And then, you know, I mean, you're just gonna have to man when the most important time is, when is most critical for the coverage.
So you're talking about dropping
If
3
we-
officers.
Yes, if we had to. But I don't see how women get around.
Okay, I've asked this question before, but I'm still on this police department budget. There's still Who unassigned phone numbers? Did we ever figure out about those that were in the safe, the phones that were in the safe?
It's not phones, it's jetpacks for them to access the internet to be able to pull people's data on their computers.
So it's like,
Okay.
like an air car.
Yeah, and the jetpacks, they have names on them because they have to have a name on them for someone to be able to call and alter things on the bill.
Wait, I'm talking about the ones that say unassigned that don't have a name.
Let me see.
There's two that just say unassigned.
Yeah, one of them says disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected, no cost.
Okay, so that one got disconnected. But this one,
This 406 number, that's the code enforcement phone.
how,
Yeah, and Chuck called once and Eric called once to have them cancel it, and they have not canceled it, it's still active.
We're gonna try to do that, we found that out this week.
okay, so what about the other unassigned?
The 3705 number.
Jetpack. All of these four things are usually jetpacks.
So I thought you said they have to have a name with them to be a jetpack.
No, like Dale Grimes is on here. This one would be the one that used to have Debbie Andrews on it as an authorized person, to call and talk about the account. So she's no longer on there, so there's no one assigned other than Dale to call and
I think they're
talk
on
about
there
the
now,
account.
but they still haven't done it.
Okay. Yeah,
We
that's
gotta
So,
call back.
so is your name gonna be where it says unassigned?
well, it would be that way on the bill. This is just the printout Eric has done, so it doesn't
Right.
have to have
I'm
unassigned.
just trying to make sure that we currently use that.
The jetpack, they use all four jetpacks. They have a jetpack in each one of their vehicles.
How many vehicles was it?
Four. Right? Yeah, four.
We're taking the four items off the face of this, we're down to 299,000, I'd say, right? 292,000, huh?
Which four did you take off? I just kept the top four, and again, it's just for data mining, trying to come up with something.
I'm looking at taking the body cam cost off, the possibility of a new police car, and the vest, information came to, again, 17, 18, about $58,000 off the front page. Give or take a couple of bucks. Say again?
HMOs and some of the.
Yep, and angle tracks,
Angel tracks,
angel tracks,
that's the cameras, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't you have to have that in
no, they have those,
contracts? No?
they have,
What's Southern Software? What is that about?
Which one?
Southern Software Inc.
That's where we do our reports.
Okay.
And then on mileage, we can do away with mileage, right? We're not reimbursement on mileage.
which page?
That's every department.
I wouldn't do away with it completely, cause if you guys go to training, you have to be reimbursed your mileage still. So I don't know how I would budget that honestly, unless you guys forego your mileage as a donation to the town.
Well, they said, they cutting the training anyways, is what was said in the beginning, so.
Well, aren't there some mandatory trainings you guys have to go to as far as the CMO ones?
Only for the new ones, most of that's online.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I talked, Jacob said that the ALM trainings, they're not mandatory now, but they're gonna become mandatory next
First
year.
of the year.
Yeah,
I think.
first of the year,
We'll have to work on that.
yeah.
And I wanna go to a conference, I wanna go network with people.
Well, go ahead.
Selena, you just said that.
I was just kidding.
There's nothing that will, we can sign you up.
You know what I'm talking about.
Selena, that M1 money could be handy.
So how do we need to do this to move forward? Do we need to individually go through and come up with budgets and then present to everybody, or how are we gonna do this? I feel like we're spinning our wheels right now.
Well, the council needs to come up with a consensus on either line items, or like we did on the first page of the police department, that was a $58,000 deduction.
We just went through administration, did you catch all of those cuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it?
A lot.
On the administrative side of the house, I didn't get much than a couple $1,000.
What about Civic Plus, are we cutting that?
We're signing a contract on it.
How long is it?
And plus, when we put out our incentives for new businesses, we gonna throw it up on the new website.
I'm gonna say, I'm getting, I think I3 Vertical, in order to do the garbage billing, is a 3-year contract.
I think so.
Civic Plus, I think, was 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I found $5,500 legal fees. I can be our attorney. Keep me in prison, hopefully.
Some of them.
Ain't happening.
Put out a motion about looking for another attorney that we all voted on.
We need one back.
Do you mind? I think we have to do that the same way we did with the mayor thing. We have to put out and ask them to turn in, submit, yeah, and then have a meeting and choose.
Do we have a contract? I don't even know if we had a contract with Shirley.
Yeah, we do.
For how long?
I think,
What,
I don't, I'm thinking it's only for a year, but it could be until they might have done it for until the time for the election, because typically when a new mayor comes in, the new mayor typically chooses a new attorney too, depending.
Okay, that's a question I did ask Shirley.
We should have the contract.
Mm-hmm, it should be in there.
I only see 15 and 14 is blank. 15 is such a.
we think that Melinda Drury is coming up to the year, I think sign a 1-year contract on it is 44.
Who's using water in the cemetery?
We'll use it to water the flowers and the flower beds.
Who does?
The beautification committee did.
We don't have them anymore, do we? I've noticed the town looks really, but when you walk in the doors here, the flower bed is pitiful. All over
Especially the
town.
ones downtown.
Yeah. It's really sad. What happened there?
Chuck had a third. What would it be you had on the police department? The body cams, the
No.
vehicle purchase?
Bottle cam, vehicle purchase, and the vest. Seminole Communications under vest, armor plated.
Yeah.
Huh? That came up to approximately 58,000. From that page, it drops it to 291 on that page.
Well, you know how I
center besides mileage reimbursement, that's
Yeah.
$450.
That we used to have out.
Well, that's this,
Hey,
Sarcola budget.
check your text.
Oh, Faith, you got the bank statements for the bathroom?
Yep.
Okay. And I know you have the Sarcola, we've seen the Sarcola payments monthly.
Do we pay any bills?
Well, you can't budget this.
Yeah. Mostly.
Told you before.
We don't pay their power or their water. We pay their
You
gas,
can't budget the craft fund.
Yes.
the gas bill for the
Why
van.
not?
Why not?
We
Because
started-
I do not know how much I will get in, and I do not know what I will spend out of it, because that is the seniors' money, not ours. And what I spend it on is supposed to be for the seniors' benefit. And I take petty cash out of it.
We started paying for that during COVID when it got so high. And last year they voted to continue to pay for it.
That's, yeah, you have a bill for September. That was June. So currently you got $4,900,
Almost that.
almost that.
And I will make a deposit this week of $100.
Because Sarcola statement is completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere. So when you write a check for this, you don't have to, you have to have two signatures to write a check. So you got $100 that came in.
I think it varies between
Petty cash.
125 and 160 every
You
month.
wrote that, you wrote that.
I'm looking at the line item, it was like
I reported my 58.
$1,652 for this year.
How Sarcola
And then proposed $1,807.
and a lot of times I'm buying something that don't want to follow.
She gets two, you signed off on that check. The Sarcola paperwork is more what we really need to look at. For what? That's coming off of the Sarcola paper once a month. Well, we looked at the police department, there's some questions on, on public works. I don't know.
just the first page. On that page, it's listed as,
I think,
I'm saying this number down to 291, 53 lines off.
So I have a question for you. The gas for the van for the senior center. I was told that that was something we took on during COVID,
Correct.
and we're still doing it. Why?
Because they still think, I can answer, I still think they need it, is what I understand.
I mean, we're given, everything I hear is that, you know, that's for the seniors, that's for the seniors, that's for the seniors, and that's fine. But
Where do you see the,
it's
under inland credit,
yeah.
oh,
okay,
1857 something for 2025.
for the year?
I'll tell you why you're paying my gas. I can explain it. I get $765 a month, and my electric bill's been running $700.
But my understanding was we only started paying that gas bill during the pandemic.
No,
That's what I was.
Yes, it shows it in the minutes and I can go pull those.
it started being paid because we was driving the bus and it was taking so much gas. Since we have the van, we have cut the gas bill in half. You was paying between 300 and 400 a month for the bus. And the council voted this year to continue to pay it.
That was for this year. And it happened during COVID when gas was up above $5 a gallon, and it was
That's
almost
never been
$600.
$5 a gallon
It,
here.
it was almost $600.
It did not in New Brockton, Alabama.
It got almost,
Well,
we
I
can
guess
go back and get
this
the
year's
receipts,
coming to
but
an end, so
yeah.
we need to make a determination if that's something we want to continue doing.
It's the council's call.
Councilman Askins,
This,
what say you?
well, right now,
Hold on, we Tennessee mapping it over here.
Mr. Terrell and I are trying to, we're taking, instead of going with the 2025 was max raise increase by 175, which is in turn a $300. We're going to the 2024 budget increase by $125, and then taking away all the extraneous stuff that we are trying to whittle out. And like the police department alone dropped to 248,826.
Yeah. Because if you look at, I don't know what I gave as an example to show him. Like if you look at, on the senior citizen stuff, if you look at their van insurance, it's $271. Okay, but if you look at the projected 2025 budget, it's $571. That's got it being raised $300. And I know inflation, but I don't see it jumping up $300. So that's the 125 plus an extra 175 to get that number of 83,000. So if we look at the middle number instead and just say that with inflation, it's gonna go up 125, I feel like that gives us a better estimate, because I don't see it jumping up $300 in 1 year
No. On what?
on the van insurance. I mean, that was just one example, but right now it's got it at 271. The projected is 571, which is a $300 increase in 1 year. There's no way.
No. I don't know who did those
So,
estimates, but they
so
did.
instead, I think that this column was supposed to just be what our current actual is plus 175, but instead it's 175 think we can go off of that, cause that's a huge increase on everything, in my opinion. Alabama math, and I don't know.
But we can check, we'll check on the, insurance on the van.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's with everything though, I mean, the insurance is just my example, but that's with every single thing, has it jumping up $300 or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, for instance, if you look at the administration budget, for line number 46, maintenance supplies, right now is $95, okay, it's projected in 2025 to be $395, that's an increase of $300.
And that's on maintenance. But there's some of the, and I'm just being devil's
No.
advocate.
No, that's just showing, that's just inflation on supplies.
You saying that that's the 175 and 125?
Yes, that's both of them, that's not just a 125 or a 175, that's both of them, so, I mean, of course, inflation, I say we look at the 125 column, not all the way up to the 300 column. It's not a 175 column, it's a 300 column. The math ain't math, just so y'all know, in my opinion.
No?
So, I think we reevaluate, because we might not be in as huge of a deficit as we initially thought we were.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so tell me. I
Well,
know
even if you
probably
go with
already
that,
What on these first few pages did we take off? What did we take off?
Selena,
Yes, sir.
even if you go with that, look at page 2. And I don't understand the difference right there right now, I just noticed that.
That's that 21,000 I originally asked y'all about, because
No, the
it's
44,000, 443,000 compared to the 425,000.
that was my very first question today, now, and it was because of that 21,000 fire department repair. If you take 21,000 away from 446, you got 425.
I requested this from Brian Young. I wanted to know what the breakdown is on everything that you're charging, because that's what that is. That is the breakdown.
Let me ask you the same question she's asking. Come on around here and I'll see if we can explain it. Basic supply. 95.7. 46.
That's Eugene.
Okay, but if you give him an extra $125,
It's just inflation, it doesn't,
Okay.
it's not exact.
but if you go 125 here, you're adding another 175 to that, so that's a $300
It's, like I said, it's just a guess. It's just a guess on their column, doesn't have to be okay. That's all it is, that's what they teach you.
from 95 to 395. It's really big.
Like I said, it doesn't have to be. Use your imagination, whatever you think.
Never heard such low in my life.
What was the insurance on the van?
Oh, right there.
Oh, it's on fire department. Senior. According to that, van insurance is $800. Ford Strata is the bus, right?
What?
The Ford Strata is the bus? Yeah,
Astro.
yeah.
This is you, and so we're gonna use, sorry, I printed them out. This is our gas distribution monthly, you have this list right there. You wanna see it, you can. I do it on a monthly basis.
The bus was in the dollars a month.
No one's here today.
It really kind of sucks because I have a workforce of like which is unbelievable.
That's why I said we couldn't afford the lights last week.
I'm saying, well, there's no way around it. We're gonna have to cut back on personnel. I don't see any way around it. And it really, it's not what I wanna do because I feel like our workforce is too small already, but we can't afford what we got right now. Thank you, Eric.
Well, close enough to like what we look like. But that was
I have to wear a mask. I have to, like, ask for permission to wear.
Oh, yeah.
When I go to the bathroom.
Is it the zero, 21,000 zero, that's the problem. How much 21,000?
I don't know.
Added us, raised the, at the public anyway.
So that's, you know, we're going 68,000 for each one.
I am too.
You're maintaining the cost. We're just going more cost.
This is Charlie's one.
Yeah, we're just,
Yeah,
we
no,
don't,
that's fine, you just,
is this the same paper? This is
it
like
might be
this.
duplicate,
Should
yeah.
be duplicate.
I didn't have to, yeah.
Public works, did we even have that?
Yes, we did.
Did we take anything away?
Well, do we wanna wait till Alan comes back? I'm suggesting you guys review all this, and we come back together.
Well, whenever you delete, you know, there's the initial amount.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go ahead and add in those, like the raise proposal, or did you just say how much you earned? What, you had done the original, your.
They give you a little time to.
And
So,
you
yeah,
go ahead
sure.
and add up these, the proposed raises.
Worst case scenario.
So you use this, the 16% rate.
Well, the problem is an open meeting regulation. Is that what?
Councilman Ash, something I brought up while you were engrossed with Selena. was the gas for the senior center van.
Right, gas for senior citizen van. What about it?
I guess they took it on as an expense during the pandemic and
It was also-
continued to pay it
It was also voted on a number of
for
months
this
ago.
year. Cause this year's almost up.
Yes.
And that's like $1,800 or something in the budget. So, is that something we wanna continue to pay for?
That's for the bus.
It's for, that's
For
mostly
the
the
van.
van. The bus is used periodically, but it's mostly for the van for food deliveries.
Do we still need both? Again, we gotta go to needs versus wants.
Well, number one, the bus is to take, when we take the senior somewhere, we have to have the bus. But you cannot sell that bus, you have to get permission from Montgomery and all of that. Have to ask to be able to sell it.
Okay.
So y'all, if y'all think y'all need to sell the bus, that's y'all, but you will have to get permission to do it.
I'm just looking at the gas bill. I wasn't even thinking about selling anything.
So it's 1,800 a year though?
That's what the
That
proposed
is a
budget for
high
2025 is.
estimate.
I think it was 16 and change this year.
Right now, it's running 100 to 110, but I gave the budget at 150 because in case gas goes up again.
Well, I suggest you guys pull all these pages, go home and review, and, you know, this is something that the council is gotta come together on. And we can, you know, whenever you decide, I mean, the next working meeting is until the middle of October, or we can set up another date just for budget discussion again.
I think we need that.
I would say go out to eat something.
I think we need that. I suggested that earlier, a study session or something
We
specific
gotta have
just
an
for
open
the budget.
meeting. So I'm open to if you take the pages with you, review, we come back and do a line by line, do it a little quicker, but this is a lot of information to, digest right here. We have looked at 3 of them previously. But,
I think we need to come to a consensus on when we want to address this issue again specifically, whether it be a special meeting or whatever, but
well, the next wording meeting isn't until the middle of
do
October.
we want to wait until the middle of October to get this done?
I don't think so.
That's why I'm saying maybe we need a special meeting.
Somebody pick a date.
Justin?
Justin and Todd.
You're the man with the hard calendar, more, I think, than the rest of us.
That's why we got Ms. Councilwoman Wilker here.
Well, and that gives me time to make an informed, you know, when I'm looking at informed
Whatever
decisions.
works for y'all is good.
The next council meeting, which this wouldn't, I don't think it would be a good topic to be discussed at the council meeting, is on the 7th. We've got the remainder of this week and next week to pick a date. How long do people wanna review this?
On the second.
What about like next Monday, the 30th?
I've got no problems with the 30th. I mean, it's up to you guys.
So that's a week
That's a
from
Monday,
today.
week from today.
That would work better for me.
I'm
You know,
available
Tuesdays
on
and
Monday as
Thursdays
well.
are busy. And I think,
Yeah.
so
I can do Monday.
Mondays work for me.
We're waiting for one more I can do Monday.
It sounds like a quorum to me.
Okay, with the notification that we're gonna do basically another special meeting, budget conference. All council members are present. It'll happen at 6 o'clock on the 30th of October.
No, September.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I wanna move this out.
30th of September.
30th of September.
We can sit here real long.
So moved.
Okay, now, a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, there was your chance. Second.
Yes.